bienvenidos. What's good? Hi guys. As you guys can see from the title today, I am calling myself out. Starting today, there's going to be quite a few videos you will be seeing in the next month and a week where I am calling myself out on all things because I need to keep myself in check, and the only way to do it is if I make a video on it. It seems to be proven correct that if I do a video on it, I am bound to remember and use things or get rid of things. So that's what I'm doing today. I've done this kind of video in the past and I like to do it at least once a year. Sometimes I do it over the summer and at the end of the year. This year I decided to do it at the end of the year. So as you guys can see from the title, today we are going to revisit all the eyeshadow palettes I purchased in 2022, and I want to know whether I used them this year, pulled them out, considered them, thought about them, and really look at my purchases so then I know going forward what I need to do. I should know already what to do, but temptation. So if you're interested to see all the palettes that I bought last year, whether or not I used them, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so this is serious. So when I looked at my video last year of all the purchases I did of 2022, 15 eyeshadow palettes were purchased last year. I can 100% tell you that this year, maybe a little bit more than that. I have a feeling I might have more this year than I did last year. Not gonna hold myself against it. This was a really tough year, so I'm gonna let myself slide. But next year, I gotta keep myself in check. So I pulled out all 15 palettes. So I'm gonna let you guys know in no particular order whether I pulled these palettes out to use them or not sometime this year. Okay, so the first one is the Huda Empowered palette. I have pulled this out and I have used it this year. Surprisingly, considering that this one I liked, but I didn't technically love for those cream shadows, but I did end up pulling this out during the fall season is where I used it the most. Very excited about that at least I pulled this one out. Out of all the Huda palettes, I'm surprised that this is the one that got a lot of use this year. Next up is this one, and I did feature this in a different video this year. This is the Give Me Glow 2 Moods palette. So this one, I said that I can't remember what it was, regret purchasing. I don't remember, but it's a palette where I haven't reached for it this year. I know. It's the whole setup of this palette. I do like it, but I feel like some of these shades are redundant. I have to remember that it's in my collection in order for me to use it. Mauves, I like, but I don't love. And if I'm going to choose a mauve shade, it's going to be more of a cooler tone than it is a warmer tone, because these lean more warm tone, and I don't tend to reach for these in the summer. That's what I've concluded. Not that I don't like mauves or mauves. It's more that I like cooler version than I do warmer version, because this is not something I'm going to reach for in the summer. I'm reaching for these types of shades in the wintertime, and this is just too warm for me. So now that I've understood that, I know not to buy warm tone mauve shades. So no, I have not reached for this one. So we're going to put it in a different pile so then we can see our piles at the end. Next up is the Natasha Denona Ayana palette. I got this one last year. It's a very neutral palette. Really, really pretty. Nothing absolutely wrong with it. I haven't reached for it this year. Okay, I should have said this from the beginning of this video, and that's my fault. If you've been watching my videos, you're fully aware that I've been going through my whole entire eyeshadow palette collection, testing out almost every single palette, things that have not been touched, in order to see if I'm going to keep them or not. So a lot of these palettes, one of the reasons why I haven't reached for them is for that reason. Not necessarily because I don't like them or don't want them. It's because I've been preoccupied using palettes that I haven't touched or I want to revisit to see if I'm keeping them. So I should have said that from the beginning. My apologies. So back to this one. Again, it's not that I don't like this one. I've been reaching for a lot of other neutral palettes to see if I want to keep them or not, because there's so much neutral I can keep in my collection. I haven't used this one, unfortunately. Up next is the Natasha Denona Jubilee palette. This is the other one that I purchased with the Ayana palette. This one, once again, I actually like the chaoticness of this palette, because if I'm going to pick a chaotic palette, I want it to be smaller and more condensed because it's a little bit easier. This, for me, if it was huge, I would have gotten rid of it already. But it's not too bad. Once you hone down on certain shades, it's actually pretty. So no, I haven't used this one at all this year. Again, for that reason where I've been testing out other ones. But I should hopefully next year get into this. Up next is Odens Norns palette. And you guys should know, if you don't know, I have decluttered this one. This one, I didn't like the formula. I didn't like it at all. That mystery box was a complete fail for me. So I got rid of that one. I was not a fan of that palette, so that one's gone. The other one that came up was the Odens alva palette. Again, that one got decluttered. That one was better quality, but it honestly reminded me a lot of this palette. And if I wasn't reaching for this one, I wasn't going to reach for the Elva palette. So this is why I chose this one to keep and get rid of that one. The quality of Give Me Glow is a lot better for me than the older version of Odens Eye. Next up is the Cleona Dragon Fruit palette. This one, I kid you not, I had all intentions. This is a palette I did not forget about this year, but I didn't have the opportunity to pull it out to use it. I was really getting into the nitty-gritty of summer palettes because I use less eye makeup in the summer. I wanted to really get rid of palettes that I knew I wasn't going to be using as often. So I ended up getting rid of quite a few palettes for summer version, even though I honestly kept thinking about this palette and wanting to reach for this palette, but I did not reach for it. But I do promise you guys, I was thinking about this one quite a bit. So it's not bad. And especially because I keep hearing that this breaks. Oh, mine did break right there. Did it? No. Mine isn't broken yet. Let's see if it does break like everyone else's. Next up was the Nabla Read My Mind. This one, nope. Didn't reach for this one. Nothing wrong with it. Again, it's just I was reaching for these kind of tones. Actually, this quadrant right here would have been perfect for this sweater. But I didn't reach for it. I didn't reach for it. Yeah, I need to reach for this one. I did not this year. I did not. Menagerie Sugar High. This one's actually being discontinued, I think. Oh, no. The Indigo ink is getting discontinued. So this is my first palette with Menagerie that is circle pans. The majority of my collection from Menagerie is the square pans because I've loved them since the beginning. Now they've changed to circle pans. But I didn't reach for this one for the same reason I didn't reach for the Cleona Dragon Fruit, just because I was reaching for other summer palettes to see if I wanted to keep them or not, and I didn't get a chance to reach for this one. But I will tell you, if I want a nice satin red, I have it right here. This is very, very unique to my whole entire makeup collection. I would keep this palette even if I didn't like it, just solely for this one, or just like depot this one, because this shade is very, very unique in my collection. I don't have anything like that. So this is going in the did not use pile, you guys. This is getting a little bit tall there. Up next is the Naughty Nude palette from Huda Beauty. This one, I want to say I did. I can't remember. I think I did reach for this one this year around the February, March era. I think I did. I think I really did use this one. Yes, I actually did, because now I'm remembering. Yes, I did use this one. So this one is going into the yes pile. Wow, Huda has been on it this year. I'm surprised. I'm very, very surprised. Up next is the Natasha Denona Dream palette. I'm sad to say I did not. I really, really like this palette a ton. You can clearly see I have used it. I didn't reach for it. But I will say again, this one I did think about. I did think about this one quite a bit, but there was other Natasha Denona palettes that were released or that I was using and testing out, or I wanted to reach for that I didn't get a chance to reach for this one. This is still by far one of my favorite ones in her whole entire collection. I really do like this one. But no, I didn't reach for it this year. So sorry. Okay, Colourpop All Amethyst palette. This one I did reach for. I don't know. There was something about this palette that just gravitated towards me in the wintertime into fall. I dig it. I dig it. This is a palette that Colourpop did well because it's not so monochromatic and you're getting a lot of different tones and formulas in here. So yeah, I did reach for her. So she's going in the reached pile. The other one that I got is the Of Quartz. Yes, I did reach for this one as well. This is the cooler version and this one shocked me. Completely shocked me when I purchased it because I didn't think I would like it, but I bought it on recommendation from one of you guys And I'm so happy I did because I really, really did like this one. So this is going into the yes pile. Next up is Colourpop on the list. This one I did not reach for. I did not reach for this one time, unfortunately, for the same reason that I've been giving you guys this whole entire time. Not because I don't want to, it's because I've been busy with other ones. But yeah, we'll see if I reach for it next year. Last but not least, Natasha Denona Retro Palette. Yes, I did reach for this one. I'm thinking about it. Yes, I did because Menagerie. Alter Ego came out with a dupe version of this one. So it prompted me to pull this out to compare formulas, compare swatches, put them on my eyes to see the differences on my eyelids. So yes, I did end up reaching for this one this year. And that makes me happy because at least I reached for a Natasha Denona palette that I purchased last year this year. All right, guys. There was 15 palettes in total that I purchased last year, like I had mentioned. 2 were officially decluttered, completely gone. Such a regret. I even made a video stating I regretted them. I was not happy with them at all. So they were both decluttered. So we are down to 13. So out of the 13 palettes, I ended up reaching for 5 palettes this year that I purchased last year. So 5 out of 13 were used this year. And unfortunately, that means 8 palettes were not reached for this year that I purchased last year. With that said, there is about 1, 2, 3 out of these 8 that were thought about, that weren't forgotten about, that I had intentions of reaching for, but never got a chance to. So that at least makes me happy because if I did not think of any of these, I would really have to consider to pass these along or declutter them. I didn't reach for them for a specific reason, and it wasn't because I didn't like them. So you guys, this is a good exercise. For myself, I would suggest you guys do it for yourselves as well. Do it for all of your purchases if you don't buy a lot, or if you want to just do it for eyeshadow palettes, or if you're a fanatic of blushes, do it that way. It puts in perspective what you use, because last year these were like the it thing, and then this year so much gets released you forget about what you bought last year. And for me, that's mainly eyeshadows, and I always want to keep myself in check. I think last year's version of this prompted me to do what I did this year and go through every drawer of eyeshadow palettes to pull out the ones I've never used, was on the fence about, debated on whether to keep or not, put them on my eyes, wear them throughout the day, and see if I really wanted to keep them or to pass them along. And I got rid of quite a few things, which makes me happy because I hopefully going into 2024, whenever I do a project pan, whenever I'm panning eyeshadows, I don't use a palette and love it and then try to get rid of it. That was my main intentions. I'm tired of hitting pan on an eyeshadow and then realizing I don't like it. My project pans give me that, which I appreciate, but it also hurts me because I put so much time and effort into a palette to realize I don't want it. So I'm just happy this exercise gets me to that point. So yeah, this year I will do a video of all of my purchases, so you guys will see that, so then next year I can keep myself in check again. Make sure that I do use what I purchase and not just buy them for the sake of buying them. But I'm at a point where now I'm buying palettes that I do want to use, not just for review purposes and then getting rid of them, because I think that was worse. When I was doing that, that was far worse. All right, you guys, I will list these down in the description box and let me know in the comment section if you did do this exercise. How did you do? How did you do? I'm pretty sure you guys did a lot better than me. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the screen for your dream, and until then,